Let's get one thing clear from the jump. Desmond Bane is a good player.
Step back, Desmond Bane. Yes, sir.
But what Orlando just gave up for him, that's not just a blockbuster trade. That's a red flag waving in 4K. Because beneath all the draft picks, player names, and headlines, this trade didn't just shift the NBA landscape. It exposed everything about the Orlando Magic's broken philosophy. They think they solved their problem, but in reality, they might have just guaranteed they'll never get past the second round. Let's break down the full story, and why Memphis just robbed them without even pulling a mask over their face. 1. The trade everyone saw coming, but nobody expected this soon. The Desmond Bane trade hit like a bomb the second the finals ended. Memphis sent Bane to the Orlando Magic. In return, they received Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP, Cole Anthony, 4 first-round picks, and a first-round pick swap. Let that sink in. That's not a trade. That's a heist. Bane is solid. He averaged 22.1 PPG 2 seasons ago, 24.2 last year, and dipped to 19.5 this season, all while shooting over 40% from 3 for his career. But he's never made an all-star team. He's never carried a playoff offense. And he just got traded for a haul that most teams wouldn't give up for an MVP candidate. So the real question is, what was Orlando thinking? Defense isn't the issue. Orlando locks up. Orlando's identity has been crystal clear the past 2 seasons. They're young, gritty, and elite on defense. They finished 2nd in defensive rating this year and 3rd the year before. Franz Wagner can guard multiple positions. Jalen Suggs is a menace at the point of attack. Jonathan Isaac, when healthy, still flashes DPOY potential. Even Paolo Banchero, not known for defense, has bought into the system. And guess what? It's working. They made the playoffs back-to-back. That's not easy in the East. Not when you're still technically rebuilding. So why is this trade still a red flag? Because their offense is absolutely disgusting. Dead last in offense. Twice. Let's put this in plain English. The Magic have had the worst offense in the playoffs 2 years in a row. Not bad, not room for improvement, worst. In 2023 and 2024, they ranked 16th out of 16 playoff teams in offensive efficiency. Think about that. You have Paolo Banchero, a 6'10", 250-pound mismatch nightmare who can get a bucket from anywhere on the floor. You have Franz Wagner, an efficient slasher and one of the smartest cutters in the league. But the moment the playoffs arrive, their offense falls apart like wet tissue paper. That's not a star problem. That's a system problem. Shooting? Yes. But that's just one bullet hole in a leaking boat. Let's be fair to Orlando's front office. They identified a real weakness. The Magic were ranked last in team three-point percentage last season, 34.6%. Their best shooters underperformed. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, a 40% shooter in Denver, dropped to 34% in Orlando. Joe Ingles is 36 and can't defend anymore. Gary Harris barely plays. And Cole Anthony, while electric off the bench, is a streaky scorer at best. So yes, adding Desmond Bane makes sense on paper. He shot 41.3% from deep for his career on nearly 7 attempts per game. That's elite volume and elite efficiency. But guess what? Even snipers miss when they're forced to create their own shots. And that's the problem Bane just walked into. No playmaking, no spacing, no solution. Here's where the Magic's flaw becomes painfully obvious. They do not have a real point guard. There's no floor general, no tempo controller, no guy who breaks down the defense and creates easy shots for everyone else. You can't just grind your way to a good offense anymore. You need a creator. Look at what Denver does with Jokic, or what Tyrese Halliburton did for the Pacers this year, or what even Jalen Brunson pulled off in New York. The Magic, they're playing 90s-style ISO ball in a TikTok-era league. Everything runs through Paolo or Franz. Neither is a natural passer. And now, they're going to ask Desmond Bane to create? We've seen that movie before, and it flopped. When Ja Morant was out in Memphis, Bane took on primary ball-handling duties. His usage went up, so did his scoring. But guess what else skyrocketed? Turnovers. And forced shots. The Grizzlies' offense plummeted to dead last without a true creator. Now Orlando is asking him to do the same thing with less help. It's a setup. They could have waited and got something way better. The timing of this trade is what makes it even worse. The finals just ended. The offseason hasn't even hit full swing, and already there are rumblings that real point guards could become available. Darius Garland, likely to be moved if the Cavs break up their backcourt. LaMelo Ball, Charlotte might finally blow it up. Trae Young, rumors have been swirling all year. All three are high risk, high reward. But they're exactly what the Magic need. Someone who can run the offense, set the pace, and, most importantly, make life easier for Paolo and Franz. They didn't need another shooter.
Despite a rear contest from Spencer Dinwiddie, Trae Young hits the game winner.
They needed a brain. Instead, they went shopping early, grabbed the first shiny thing they saw, and paid designer price for it. 4 firsts for a non-all-star. Let's talk value. Desmond Bane is on a 5-year, $207 million deal. That's max money for someone who's never made an All-NBA team. And now Orlando is on the hook for his contract, 4 of their future first-rounders, a pick swap, plus 2 rotation players. That's the type of deal you make when you're 1 step away from a title. That's the kind of deal that Boston makes, or Milwaukee. Orlando isn't 1 step away. They're 2 creators, 3 shooters, and a whole offensive system away. This trade is the equivalent of throwing a gold bar at a locked door, instead of finding the key. Memphis, smarter than you think. Now, let's flip it. Memphis saw an opportunity and capitalized like pros. They cleared Bane's max salary off the books, brought in KCP, who still has value as a 3 and D vet, got Cole Anthony as a potential 6th man with upside, and added 4 picks plus a swap. That's how you pivot without panicking. They didn't rebuild, they reloaded. Ja Morant comes back next year fully healthy. They've still got Jaren Jackson Jr., a defensive anchor. And now they've got flexibility to either swing another trade or develop young talent like Scottie Pippen Jr., Zach Edey, and Jalen Wells. That's how you build long-term. Orlando, they just gambled their future on a second option shooter. This isn't a rebuild, it's a reset. Some folks are saying Memphis is blowing it up, that Ja's next, that Jaren's gone. That's nonsense. This is a strategic reset, not a rebuild. They changed head coaches. They're realigning the roster around Ja. And with all those picks, they now have options. Meanwhile, Orlando just limited theirs. They've made their bet. Now they have to live with it. Because Desmond Bane is walking into a role that doesn't suit him, in a system that doesn't support him. And now, he's the guy expected to fix a fundamentally broken offense. Spoiler, he won't. Conclusion. The trade said it all. In the end, this trade wasn't about Bane. It was about what it revealed. Orlando is still treating symptoms instead of curing the disease. You can't shoot your way out of dysfunction. Until they find a real point guard, someone who can command the floor, elevate everyone else, and make the game easier, this team will remain stuck. Defense gets you to the playoffs, but offense wins you rings. And Memphis, they just turned a good player into an elite package and kept their core intact. The real winners of this trade aren't even in Orlando. What do you think? Did Orlando just overpay for a shooter? Or is this the start of something bigger? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button, subscribe for more deep NBA analysis, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.